My parents fully paid for my sister's college tuition but flat out refused to help me with mine. Now I am stuck with loans while they buy new cars and go on fancy trips. Why do they treat us so differently? Hi, I'm 21, and I'm at this point in my life where everything's supposed to be falling into place, right? I got accepted into college. A decent state school, nothing fancy, but it's a big deal for me. I've been hyped about it for months, picturing myself finally getting out of this small town, starting fresh, maybe even figuring out who I'm supposed to be. Then I hit a brick wall, my parents. I asked them to help pay for tuition, and they flat out said no. Like, not even a "we'll think about it," or "let's see what we can do." Just a hard, cold no. And now I'm spiraling, trying to figure out if I'm the one being unreasonable here or if they're just screwing me over. Let me back up a bit so this makes sense. Growing up, money was always a weird topic in our house. We're not rich, but we're not broke either, middle class, I guess. My parents have decent jobs. Mom's a nurse, Dad works in some warehouse management gig. They've always had enough to keep the lights on, put food on the table, and even splurge sometimes. Like, when I was a kid, they'd take us on these random weekend trips to the coast, or they'd buy a new TV when the old one was still fine. Point is, they've never acted like we're struggling. So when I started thinking about college, I kind of assumed they'd help me out. I mean, they did it for my older sister, Kelsey. Kelsey's 25 now, and she graduated a couple years ago with a marketing degree. Mom and Dad paid for every dime of it. Tuition, dorms, even her stupid meal plan. I remember them bragging about it at family dinners, like, "Oh, Kelsey's doing so well. We're so proud to support her." She'd sit there smirking, soaking it up. Meanwhile, I was still in high school, grinding through algebra and dodging Dad's lectures about how I needed to apply myself. I wasn't a straight-A kid, but I wasn't a slacker either. I graduated with a solid B average, got into college, and figured it was my turn, you know? Apparently not. I brought it up to them a few months ago, right after I got my acceptance letter. We were sitting in the living room, same old beige couch, same coffee table with the water rings Mom's always complaining about. I was nervous but excited, holding the letter like it was some golden ticket. "So, I got into college," I said, trying to sound casual. Mom smiled and said, "That's great, honey." But Dad just grunted, eyes glued to his phone. I took a deep breath and went for it. "I was hoping you guys could help with tuition. It's about 15 grand a year, and I've got some savings, but..." "No." Dad cut me off, not even looking up. "We can't afford that." I froze. Mom didn't say anything, just started fidgeting with her coffee mug. "What do you mean you can't afford it?" I asked. "You paid for Kelsey's school." "That was different," Dad said, finally meeting my eyes. "Things have changed. Money's tight now." I wanted to call BS right there, but I held it together. "Okay, but how? You guys just bought that new SUV last month. And didn't you go to that wine tasting thing a couple weekends ago?" I wasn't trying to be a jerk. I was genuinely confused. Mom jumped in, voice all soft like she was trying to smooth things over. "We're not saying you can't go, sweetie. We just can't cover it. You'll have to figure something out. Loans? A job? Something." I sat there, stunned. Figure something out? I've got maybe 2 grand saved up from working summers at the hardware store, and that's not even close to enough. Loans scare the hell out of me. I've heard horror stories about people drowning in debt for decades. And a job? I'd have to work full-time just to scrape by. And then how am I supposed to focus on school? I didn't say any of that, though. I just nodded, mumbled something about thinking it over, and went to my room. That's when the real spiral started. Here's the thing. I can't shake the feeling that this isn't about money. It's about me. Kelsey got the full ride from them, no questions asked. And yeah, she was a better student, straight as debate team, the works. She's always been their golden child. Even now, she's got this cushy job at some ad agency, and every time she comes over, it's like a victory lap. Last week, she was at the house for dinner. Mom made her famous lasagna, of course, and I stupidly brought up the college thing again, thinking maybe she'd back me up. "So, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to pay for school," I said, picking at my food. "Mom and Dad say they can't help this time." Kelsey raised an eyebrow, smirking over her glass of wine. "Oh, that's rough. Guess you'll have to hustle like the rest of us. I stared at her. Hustle? You didn't hustle. They paid for everything. She shrugged. Well, I earned it. I worked hard in school. Maybe if you'd done the same, they'd feel like investing in you. She said it so casually, like it was no big deal to throw that in my face. Mom and Dad didn't even blink. Just kept eating like she hadn't just stabbed me in the gut. I wanted to scream. Earned it? I worked hard too, not debate team hard, but I showed up, I passed, I got accepted. Doesn't that count for something? I didn't say anything, though. Just shoved a forkful of lasagna in my mouth and stewed. Kelsey's always been like that. Smug, a little condescending. She's tall, blonde, confident, the kind of person who walks into a room and owns it. I'm shorter, quieter, less sure of myself. Maybe that's why they bet on her and not me. After dinner, I cornered Dad in the kitchen while he was loading the dishwasher. He's a big guy, broad shoulders, graying hair, always looks like he's 1 second away from yelling. We've never been close. He's not the warm and fuzzy type, and I've always felt like I disappoint him. Can we talk about this? I asked. I don't get why you can't help me when you helped Kelsey. He slammed a plate into the rack. I told you we don't have it. Stop acting like we owe you something. You're an adult. Act like it. But you paid for her, I pressed. What's different now? You want the truth? He snapped. Kelsey had a plan. She knew what she wanted, and she proved she could handle it. You coasted through high school, barely tried. Why should we throw money at you when you're just gonna waste it? That hit me like a punch. Coasted? Barely tried? I wanted to argue, to tell him I've been trying lately, working extra shifts, researching schools, pulling my act together. But he was already walking out, leaving me standing there with a sponge in my hand and a lump in my throat. That's Dad for you, stubborn, blunt, zero patience. He's been on my case since I was a kid, always comparing me to Kelsey or telling me I'm not living up to some invisible standard. Maybe he's right, but it still stings. Mom's no help either. She's softer than Dad, always playing peacemaker, but she never stands up to him. When I tried talking to her later, she just sighed and said, Your father's made up his mind. We're not in the same place we were when Kelsey went. Things are tighter now. I pointed out the SUV again. Shiny, black, parked in the driveway like a giant middle finger, but she brushed it off. That was a necessity, she said. Our old car was falling apart. Sure, Mom. Totally necessary. The more I think about it, the more I notice stuff that doesn't add up. That wine-tasting trip? They posted pics on Facebook, grinning with glasses in their hands. Last month, they replaced the dining room table because Mom wanted something more modern. Meanwhile, I'm over here Googling student loans at 2 a.m., trying not to panic about interest rates. Are they lying about being broke? Or do they just not care enough to prioritize me? I don't know which is worse. It's not just family making this harder. My friends are piling on too. My best friend, Tyler, has been my go-to rant buddy since middle school. He's skinny, loud, always got an opinion. He worked his way through community college with a part-time job at a pizza joint and some small loans, so he's all about that bootstrap life. I met him at this little coffee shop downtown last week. Worn wooden tables, the smell of burnt espresso, and unloaded everything. They won't pay, I said, stirring my latte till it was basically foam. They keep saying they can't, but I don't buy it. Tyler leaned back, crossing his arms. Dude, no offense, but why should they? You're 21. I figured out my own stuff. Why can't you? I groaned. Because it's not the same. They paid for Kelsey. I'm not asking for a handout. I just want what she got. Yeah, but that's their call, not yours, he said. Sounds like you're acting kinda entitled. Take out a loan, get a job. It's not that deep. Entitled. That word stuck with me, gnawing at my brain. Am I entitled? I don't think I am. I'm not demanding a car or a vacation, just a shot at college without drowning in debt. But Tyler's tone, all judgy and superior, got under my skin. We've always been tight, but lately, he's been on this high horse about doing everything himself. Maybe he's jealous my parents could help and his couldn't, or maybe he really thinks I'm a spoiled brat. Either way, it's put this weird distance between us. We finished our coffee in silence, and I left feeling worse than when I got there. Then there's Paige, my girlfriend. She's 22, short, curly hair, fierce as hell. We've been together a year, and she's my rock, usually. Her parents paid for her nursing degree, so she's already working, making decent money. When I told her about my parents, she got mad. Not at me, at them. We were at her apartment, sprawled on her lumpy gray couch, some dumb reality show droning in the background. They can't do that, she said, sitting up straight. They helped your sister, they have to help you. It's not fair. I know, I said, but they won't budge. Dad's acting like I don't deserve it. Then fight harder, she said, grabbing my hand. Call them out. They're being hypocrites. You can't just let this go. I love that she's on my side, but her pushing stresses me out. Fight harder? I've tried. Yelling at Dad doesn't work, and Mom just shrinks away. Paige keeps saying I need to stand up for myself, but I'm tired. Plus, I can tell she's disappointed I'm not handling this better. She hasn't said it, but I feel it. Like I'm letting her down by not having my crap together. Last night, she brought it up again while we were making dinner, chopping onions so fast I thought she'd lose a finger. You're not seriously giving up, are you? She asked. I didn't answer, just stirred the sauce and pretended I didn't hear. Now I'm stuck. College starts in a few months and I've got no plan. I could take out loans, but the numbers make my head spin. 30 grand in debt before I even have a job? Or I could work full-time, save up, delay school a year. I've been scrolling job listings, retail, warehouses, some sketchy call center gig, picturing myself hauling boxes instead of sitting in a lecture hall. It sucks. My parents don't get it. They act like this is no big deal, like I'm overreacting. Dad even said the other day, plenty of people don't go to college and turn out fine. Cool, Dad, but I want more than fine. I keep replaying everything in my head. The way Kelsey smirked, the way Dad shut me down, the way Mom avoids my eyes, Tyler calling me entitled, Paige telling me to fight, the new car in the driveway, the wine picks, the money's tight excuse that doesn't hold water. I'm mad, yeah, but I'm also starting to wonder if they're right. Maybe I didn't earn it. Maybe I'm asking too much. But then I think about Kelsey, how they didn't make her prove anything, and I'm back to square one, pissed off and confused. So here I am, sitting in my room, staring at this acceptance letter I can't afford to accept. The walls are still covered in old band posters from high school. The desk's a mess of bills and half-finished job applications. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to keep pushing my parents, dig into their finances, demand answers. Part of me wants to say screw it, take the loans and deal with the fallout later. And part of me just wants to crawl under the covers and pretend this isn't happening. I guess what I'm asking is, am I the bad guy here? Am I being selfish for expecting them to help when they did it for Kelsey? Or are they the ones screwing up by playing favorites and leaving me to fend for myself? I'm so tangled up in this. I can't see straight anymore. Update. What's been going on since that period? So, it's been 10 months since I last vented about my parents refusing to pay for college, and holy crap, a lot has gone down. I figured I'd update you guys because things have shifted in ways I didn't see coming. Some good, some bad, and some straight up messy. I'm still figuring out how I feel about it all, so bear with me while I unpack this. After that whole blowout with Mom and Dad, I ended up taking out loans. Yeah, the thing I swore I'd never do. I signed the papers, locked in about 20 grand of debt, and started school last fall. It sucked watching that number slap me in the face, but I didn't have a choice. Working full-time and saving up would have taken years, and I wasn't about to let my plans die just because my parents bailed. Classes are fine so far. I'm studying business, nothing fancy, but it's a start. I'm living in a cramped off-campus apartment with 2 roommates who leave dishes in the sink for days, but it beats staying home with the tension. Speaking of home, things with my parents are weird. After I stopped begging them for money and went silent, Mom started texting me every couple weeks. Little stuff like, how's school? Or, made your favorite lasagna tonight. I'd reply with one-word answers, good, cool, because I'm still pissed. Dad, though? Radio silence. Not a single call, text, nothing. I saw them over Thanksgiving, and it was awkward as hell. We were crammed around the new dining table. Yep, the modern one they didn't need. And Mom kept trying to play happy family while Dad barely looked at me. I asked about the SUV just to poke the bear, and he muttered something about priorities before storming off to watch football. Classic Dad. Shutting down instead of dealing. Mom's been weirdly clingy lately, though. A few months ago, she showed up at my apartment unannounced with a Tupperware of cookies, acting like everything's normal. I let her in mostly because I didn't know how to say no, and we sat on my beat-up couch while she rambled about work and the neighbors. Then she dropped this bomb. Your dad's been stressed. Work's cutting hours, and we're tighter than we let on. I just stared at her. Tighter than they let on. 10 months ago, they were buying cars and sipping wine. But now they're broke? I didn't buy it, but I didn't push either. I just nodded, ate a cookie, and let her leave. Since then, she's been calling more, leaving voicemails about checking in. But I haven't called back. I don't know if she's guilty or fishing for sympathy, and honestly, I'm too tired to care. Kelsey's a whole other story. She's still the golden child, but we had a massive fight over Christmas that's basically torched our relationship. She came home with her boyfriend, some slick guy named Gavin who talks like he's auditioning for a podcast, and the whole night, she kept making these digs. Oh, college must be so tough with loans, she'd say, smirking like it's a joke. I tried to ignore it, but after a couple glasses of wine, I snapped. We were in the kitchen, grabbing leftovers, and I just let her have it. You know what, Kelsey? You don't get to act superior when Mom and Dad handed you everything, I said, probably louder than I meant to. I'm busting my a-hole to make this work, and you're over here laughing like I'm some failure. Her face went red. Maybe if you'd tried harder, they'd have helped you too, she shot back. I earned it. You just expected it. That's when I lost it. Earned it? You got a free ride and I got a middle finger. Don't pretend you're better than me. Mom rushed in, telling us to calm down, but Kelsey stormed out with Gavin, and I haven't heard from her since. She unfollowed me on Instagram. Petty, right? And I'm fine with it. She's always been smug, but I didn't think she'd double down this hard. I miss the old days when we'd actually talk, but I'm not chasing her. If she wants to act like I'm the bad guy, that's on her. Paige and I are still together, but it's been rough. She was my cheerleader at first, pushing me to fight my parents, but once I took the loans and started school, things shifted. She's working full-time as a nurse now, pulling long shifts, and I'm juggling classes and a part-time gig at a campus bookstore. We barely see each other. Maybe once a week if we're lucky, and when we do, it's tense. She's been dropping hints about where this is going, like she's waiting for me to catch up to her life. Last month, we were at her place, eating takeout on that lumpy couch, and she said, I just don't get why you're still mad at your parents. You're in school now, move on. I tried to explain how it's not just about the money, it's the unfairness, the way they picked Kelsey over me, but she cut me off. You're obsessing. It's done. I shut down after that and we ate in silence. She's still fierce, still my rock when she wants to be, but I can feel her pulling away. I think she's frustrated I'm not over this yet, or maybe she's just tired of hearing me vent. I don't know how to fix it, and it's eating at me. Here's the new problem, though, the one I didn't see coming. My loans came with a catch. I've got to keep my grades up to stay eligible for the next semester's funding. No big deal, right? Except I'm drowning. Between work, classes, and all this family crap, I'm barely sleeping. Last week, I got my midterm grades back, and I'm failing econ. Like, straight up F territory. If I don't pull it up by finals, I could lose the loans, and then I'm screwed, no money, no school, nothing. I've been cramming at the library till midnight, chugging coffee like it's water, but my head's a mess. Every time I try to focus, I start thinking about Dad's "you'll waste it" speech or Kelsey's smirk, and I spiral again. I ran into Mom at the grocery store a couple days ago. Total accident. I was grabbing ramen, she was in the cereal aisle, and we just stared at each other for a second. She looked tired, bags under her eyes, and I almost felt bad. How's school? She asked, voice all soft like always. Fine, I lied. Busy. She nodded, then hesitated. Your dad misses you. He won't say it, but he does. I didn't know what to say to that. Misses me? He's got a funny way of showing it. I mumbled something about being late for work and bailed, but it stuck with me. Part of me wants to call him, hash it out, but the bigger part's still too mad. What would I even say? Hey, Dad, I'm failing because you guys left me hanging? Yeah, that'd go over great. So that's where I'm at. 10 months later, I'm in college but barely hanging on. My family's a mess, and my relationship's shaky. The loans got me here, but now they're a noose around my neck with this grade thing. I keep wondering if I should have just worked full-time instead. Maybe Dad was right and I'm not cut out for this. But then I think about Kelsey, how they gave her the world and left me scrambling, and I get mad all over again. I'm trying to push through, but it's like I'm fighting a war on every front: school, family, Paige, myself. Am I in the wrong for still holding this grudge? Should I just let it go and focus on not flunking out? Or are they the ones who messed up, and I've got every right to be pissed? I don't even know anymore. I just know I'm exhausted, and I could use some outside perspective.
Thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, and join me for more crazy life spills.